She was sitting by the window when her daughter said the words that split her world in half. "We're going tomorrow, Mom. I've sold your beach house." The sentence sounded so casual, so rehearsed, as if it were about canceling a dinner plan and not about erasing a lifetime. Anna's fingers tightened around her cup of tea as the ocean breeze drifted through the open window, the same breeze she had felt every morning for more than 30 years. That house was never just a structure of wood and paint. It was where her husband had carried her over the threshold, laughing as sand stuck to their feet. It was where their children learned to swim, where scraped knees were kissed better, where birthdays were celebrated with crooked candles and too much cake. As her daughter continued speaking about paperwork and buyers and money, Anna barely heard her. Her mind wandered through rooms filled with echoes of voices long gone. She wanted to interrupt, to shout, to remind her daughter that the house still belonged to her, that it was not something to be sold without a word. But the shock stole her voice. When the call ended, the silence felt louder than the crashing waves outside. She stared at the walls, realizing that the place she thought was permanent had already been taken from her. Not by strangers, but by her own blood. That night, sleep refused to come. Anna lay awake, listening to the familiar sounds of the house, every creak and sigh now feeling like a farewell. She walked barefoot across the wooden floor, touching the door frames, tracing the scratches left by growing children, opening drawers filled with forgotten seashells and old photographs. She remembered the nights she and her husband had sat on the porch, dreaming about the future, promising each other they would grow old there. He was gone now, buried beneath a simple stone overlooking the sea, and this house was the last place where she still felt close to him. The thought that it would belong to someone else by morning made her chest ache. Anger slowly replaced her shock. How could her daughter decide this without her? Had all those years of sacrifice meant so little? She had sold her jewelry once to help her daughter through college, had watched her grandchildren while their parents built careers, had always said yes when help was needed. Yet when it came to something that mattered most to her, no one had asked. As the moonlight spilled across the room, Anna realized something painful but clear. She had been treated like a burden to be managed, not a mother to be respected. By morning, her daughter arrived with forced smiles and hurried explanations. She spoke about finances, about how the money would help everyone, about how Anna would be more comfortable living with them. Anna listened quietly, studying the woman her little girl had become. She saw efficiency where there used to be warmth, impatience where there used to be care. As they packed, Anna noticed how quickly her daughter moved, as if rushing would make the guilt easier to carry. They loaded boxes into the car, each one feeling like a piece of Anna's life being sealed shut. When they finally stood in the empty living room, her daughter sighed with relief. As if a difficult task had been completed, that was when Anna spoke. Her voice was calm but steady. She told her daughter that the house had been more than an asset, that it was the last place where she still felt whole. She spoke of her husband, of the promises they made, of the memories no amount of money could replace. For the first time, Her daughter fell silent. The words landed heavier than anger ever could. They drove away just before sunset. Anna watched the house disappear in the rearview mirror, tears blurring her vision. But something unexpected stirred within her. Beneath the grief was a quiet resolve. She had spent years putting others first, shrinking her own needs to keep peace. Now, sitting in the back seat, she made a decision. She would no longer disappear quietly. When they arrived at her daughter's home, Anna asked to stop at the lawyer's office the next morning. Her daughter looked confused, even alarmed. Anna explained that the house had been placed in a trust years ago, something her husband insisted on after seeing too many friends lose everything. The sale could not be finalized without her signature. The papers her daughter thought were complete were not. Silence filled the car, thick and heavy. Anna did not feel triumph, only sadness that it had come to this. But she also felt strength. For the first time in a long while, she had protected herself. Days later, as the truth settled in, her daughter came to her in tears. She apologized, admitting she had convinced herself it was the right thing without considering her mother's heart. Anna listened, her pain still raw, but her voice gentle. She told her daughter that love did not give anyone the right to decide another person's life for them. The beach house was eventually returned to her, but something had changed forever. Trust, once broken, took time to rebuild. Still, Anna chose forgiveness, not because it was easy, but because she wanted peace in the years she had left. One evening, back in her home by the sea, she sat on the porch watching the waves roll in, feeling both loss and hope. The house remained, but more importantly, she had reclaimed her voice, and this time she promised herself no one would ever take it away again.